Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys formula and America's Medicare Associates with Dave Ross. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. If you have questions about your retirement, you want to set up a time to speak with them, that's the number 419-794-3030. You can also go to the website, schedule a time there as well, arhq.com. If you ask 10 economists if we're heading towards a recession, you'll probably get 10 different answers. There are some people who even look at data from rather unusual sources like sales of men's underwear and even lipstick. We know you guys don't take these things seriously, but what metrics do you guys at the Retirement Guys formula actually look for before telling clients we're veering into recession territory?
In my life previous to becoming a financial advisor, I was a business and an economics teacher. So I can give you a textbook definition. What is a recession? It's when you have 2 quarters of rising unemployment and negative gross domestic product. So what does that mean in plain English? It means that people are losing their jobs. So you see a lot of layoffs coming from corporate America. And you also see people spending less. Well, people are already spending less on big ticket items because if they have to finance them, the interest rates are cost prohibitive for doing that. But Chris, the unemployment numbers don't seem to be bearing that out. Mm-hmm. So I would say that a lot of people look at their personal situation and say, am I better off today than I was last year or 2 years or 4 years ago? They may think personally that they are in a recession. But in the broad scheme of things, our economy seems to be humming right along. When we look at investments here at America's Retirement Headquarters, what are we looking at? We're looking at highly profitable firms who have large sums of cash on hand, and they have products that are being bought on a daily basis by consumers. That's the thesis of what we're looking at in terms of a potential investment in one of our management strategies. The other thing that would be looked at by us here in the recessionary thing is, are any of our portfolios tripping what we call circuit breakers? A circuit breaker is where you have economic indicators that are failing to meet a certain level of standard, and that would trigger a certain percentage of a portfolio being liquidated to cash. That has happened a little bit here and a little bit there, but it hasn't stayed in that arena for very long. So in other words, we definitely have metrics of when we would sell out of things, mm-hmm. but then when those metrics reverse themselves, we're getting right back into the market. So it's not like we're going to cash and staying there. We are not doing that. And we're just continuing to see strength in, like you said, the companies that have high cash positions, low debt, and they have a product or a service that consumers are buying in large quantities. So when you look at the technology area and all this artificial intelligence, those investments continue. They had a little bit of a correction, but now they have kind of right-sized and are kind of heading right back down the middle of the turnpike. So I would say that recessions are largely what a person feels about their own situation. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why I think time spent here with an advisor at America's Retirement Headquarters is time well spent, because we will analyze your situation. We will stress test your portfolio to see what kind of a risk quotient that you're involved in. And sometimes people realize that, hey, they may think they're a moderate or conservative investor, but when we actually plug the numbers into our software, they're pretty risky. So we will right-size the portfolio compared to where their risk tolerance lies, and we will also put them in a strategy that allows us to make moves for their benefit when the market starts behaving in I guess the word I would use is a dicey manner. And we could very well be headed towards a fall like that with this election and all of the world politics.
Because while we are beyond the point where it is a national economy, it's now a global economy. I've heard that said a lot. People really are most concerned with their personal economy. So, as you said, while we may not be in quote unquote recession territory, if they're feeling the strain, that is something that definitely needs to be addressed. And that's going to vary from person to person. And that is why the plans you guys develop at America's Retirement Headquarters, they are custom suited to everyone's comfort level, what they're looking for, their risk tolerance, and things like that. I've had the pleasure of doing radio, doing this program with the team for going on 4 years now. And one thing that I really truly admire is the fact that the messaging, the methodology for picking the right investment strategies. Obviously, the components are going to vary from time to time, but it's that same message. Things with cash-rich reserves, everyday kind of necessities, things like that. And so, making sure that having that consistency has really, I think, worked well for people out there. So if you have concerns about your personal economy, especially as we are in so many things beyond our control now, my challenge to you is to go ahead and reach out and schedule a time to speak with America's Retirement Headquarters, start developing that plan, have that retirement team action plan run for you, and take a look and see, if there are changes that need to be made. It's real easy. All you need to do, get started. Give a call, 419-794-3030, or go to the website. That is arhq.com.